morning, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. Welcome to Pro Wrestling Simulated's The 500. I'm Pat. That's Mike.
I'm Mike.
And today we are going to be seeing our 27th episode in The 500, which is a massive, overly ambitious tournament we've been doing for the last several months, where we have taken the PWI 500 of the 500 best wrestlers in the world, and we're pitting them all against each other in a single elimination tournament. We are 26 episodes in thus far. 265 of the 500 have fallen by the wayside. 11 more will be joining them today. And that also means that 11 more will be moving on to the round of 128, which still seems like a lot. But when you consider how far we've made it thus far, we're on the downward slope. We're getting kind of close to the finish line here.
This is why I don't do numbers.
That's why I almost exclusively do numbers.
Oh.
For the longest time at the beginning of the show, I was known as the Stat Man,
yes.
Which I guess I still, in a way, kind of am. And I've got lots of stats for today's wrestlers. Real quick run through the card. We've got 11 big matches, as I mentioned, including the PWS debut of the number 9 seed in our tournament, since he had a first round bye, Shingo Takagi from New Japan Pro Wrestling, who in our main event today will be taking on one half of the new Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions, Mark Briscoe. We will also see AEW on AEW violence as the limitless Keith Lee takes on Daniel Garcia, one of the preeminent sports entertainers in the business right now. Jeff Hardy.
Sports entertainers.
Jeff Hardy and Angelo Dawkins, Lance Archer and Cedric Alexander. We got a ton of stuff coming up. Let's just jump right into it. We can kind of catch up on the week's news as we go here. But we are going to start things off with a gentleman that we just saw 7 episodes ago make his debut, because I had to create him since he I was unable to find a Jaden Newman edit online. So here he is, Chattanooga's own. I was going to say just down the road from me, but it's a very long road. Interstate 24 takes a while to get you to Chattanooga, but it gets you there. Jaden Newman, who in round 1 pulled off a big upset, beating number 41 Dragon Lee. He is the 10th lowest seed remaining in the tournament.
Why don't you just take the Chattanooga choo-choo?
Well, you have to get to Chattanooga first to do that, yeah. But that is an option.
I just know there is a song.
There is fair.
I didn't even know it was a real city.
There is still a historical site there.
It's like Walla Walla, Washington, like all the Bugs Bunny names.
Yep, and Albuquerque. He is in there with Shotaro Ashino from All Japan Pro Wrestling, who defeated the King of the Indies, Matt Cardona, way back in episode 5.
Slowly becoming like the king of all wrestling, with the amount of titles that are, just around his waist or shoulders. I think he's got like one for each appendage.
I think he's got, depending on what you consider an appendage, I think he's got multiples for some.
He knows. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yes, absolutely.
He's been told, don't book me because I will win your belt.
Yes, that's right. That's right. My luggage is getting to be too heavy. Please stop booking me on your shows. Shotaro Ashino, representing All Japan Pro Wrestling, who in a pretty unlikely turn of events in round 1, the only major promotion to go completely undefeated in round 1. 8-0 was All Japan Pro Wrestling in round 1. Ashino hoping to make it 9-0. And of course, Newman hoping to break that streak. We'll delay on those chops there.
Looking up at some stats on Shotaro, so I get a little more refamiliarize myself, because like we said, we've done so many matches that it almost feels like being reintroduced to them all over again.
And last time we saw him was well over 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So, and we've seen so many wrestlers since then. It's understandable. Yeah, he was in our 5th ever episode. Let's see, but that would have been one of our, first 50 matches. It was, in fact, our 47th match in the tournament, and this is our 236th.
Sure.
So we have had a lot of things happen since we last saw Shotaro Ashino.
And like I was telling you before we went on the air, as I was looking at day one of the Super Juniors, everyone who's on that card has been on our show.
Indeed.
The entire Super Junior day one lineup for Block A, I believe this is. It's just cool to see them outside of, well, I mean, like, not like our show is the main end all be all, but it's like,
sure,
it's the one that we're surrounded with the most.
Yeah.
And yet to see everybody like, oh yes, I know these wrestlers.
I have seen a digital avatar of Francesco Akira, now a member of the United Empire.
Indeed.
Oop, Canadian Destroyer, Dax Harwood, not happy about that.
Well,
an arm Tazplex there.
I was going to say, Ashino is a suplex god.
Yes. Indeed. He works a very kind of traditional style, working you over with ankle locks and German. Oh, there's that ankle lock right on cue.
It reminds me of Taz.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. Very much so. He was also trained by the legendary Great Muta. I mean, he was probably not wearing the full makeup. So, burning hammer from Jaden Newman. But Ashino just kind of,
Keiji Muta, known to basically not pull punches.
No. So Ashino would have learned early, whether or not he was cut out for the business. And since he's still here, that answer was obviously yes. And Pro Wrestling Illustrated thought he was the 216th, but 1, 2, that frog splash from Newman almost did it.
It was a great frog splash.
Very nearly did it.
Reminiscent of the old D'Lo Brown style.
Absolutely, the lowdown. Man, I miss D'Lo. D'Lo is one of those guys that never quite got his due. He had a really good run and then kind of got saddled with some crap. And then,
first wrestler to have the controversial chest piece. Roman Reigns came following up.
Yes. Oh, another destroyer from Newman, the Chattanooga Destroyer. Followed by the frog splash, all up in the ropes. Not a lot Natsuki Taiyo, our referee, had to do other than say, hey, you're just entirely in the ropes.
Has the Destroyer now become like regional centric?
I think I'm basically calling it like Joey Styles called any move done by an Italian or Mexican wrestler. It's a Mexican whip. It's an Italian suplex. It's a Chattanooga Destroyer.
Sicilian souffle.
Souffle, yes, Sicilian souffle. Going back to the ankle lock? Nope.
Actually, I guess souffle would be for a wrestler of French persuasion.
Yeah, that would make more sense. That's what PCO does.
Yes. I saw PCO on Impact recently, and Jesus, the guy just the man has defeated death more than once.
Yes,
and apparently he just wants to keep trying.
Yeah, looking to go out in glorious battle.
But Vincent has been like his Victor Frankenstein, and he literally just like charges him up with lightning.
I saw the very first live show I ever went to. PCO had a match. This was when he was doing his Jean-Pierre Lafitte, his pirate character in the WWF, against Brett at In Your House 3, with the setup that he had stolen Brett's jacket. Because, pirate.
That's the iconic jacket.
Yeah. And apparently pirates steal clothes.
Well, yeah.
I missed that part of the lore.
Why would he try to steal gold like a championship belt?
Right. Yeah, it's not like there was a wrestler going around at the time who had gold around his fingers, gold around his neck. Yep, no, he went after the jacket. And I think he may have also stolen a pair of the sunglasses from a kid in the front row. Back to the ankle lock goes Ashino. Newman again kicks his way out of it.
Newman.
Newman. Big belly-to-belly overhead suplex. Shotaro Ashino will close in on a 15-minute mark here in our opener.
Newman-san.
Ichiban number 1.
That was the only thing Hogan knew.
That's right.
In Japanese.
Well, I mean, that's more than the machines knew. We could forget that classic promo from, I don't even remember what show that was, but... Ugh.
The Conquistadors, though, when it was Edge and Christian, C,
yeah. Which I appreciated. They didn't totally try to...
No.
God, snap, fisherman, suplex, almost a brain buster. And a Pele kick. Newman pulling out all the stops here. Shino whiffs on a drop kick. Eats a drop kick to the face for his troubles. Twisting back into the ankle lock goes Ashino. And back into the ropes goes Newman. I don't know what I thought was about to happen there, but it wasn't that. Big frog splash. Hooks the leg, but still too close to the ropes. One of these times, Jaden Newman will remember where the ropes are and will prevent Shotaro Ashino from reaching them. But it is not this day. Running shoulder from Ashino. Quick and painful way to take Newman down. There's that snap fisherman again. Back up top, frog splash, and Ashino just stands up. No, thank you. Back to the ankle lock. There it is. At the 17:48 mark for 2 matches in a row, Shotaro Ashino wins it with the ankle lock. All Japan Pro Wrestling remains undefeated here in the 500. That's got to be one of the big storylines running through this whole tournament so far is AJPW 9-0.
Yeah, they've been running away with this tournament.
They're far and away been the most impressive. I mean, you know, AEW, WWE, New Japan all have more wrestlers that have advanced, but they have also had considerably more losses. New Japan in particular has not done great in a game that has their license. So that gets a 90% from the judges over at Fire Pro. The legendary journalist Maeve Deltzer gives
Yes.
it's that ankle lock victory for Ashino a 90%, which is that's a good rating. That's a
and I believe it's Ryan Balvarez.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Ron Shaw's pass.
Sure.
Yeah. Had to reach for that one. Not a fan.
From Full of Fight.
That's right, yes. Just to the brim. Just full of fight.
So, sprinkling it throughout this episode, I have some fun this week in wrestling. On this day,
I see
1992,
clearly.
Mexican wrestling
has
promotion
come to
AAA launched
Sorry.
officially.
Oh, wow. That is a fun fact. I'm sorry, I kind of sang over you there with the...
It's okay. Edge's music is different now. You know, The Judgment Day.
Yeah.
That iconic stable.
Yes. Yes, indeed. I think
And he got his hair cut.
You never did. Well, then who are you then? I thought I
don't
knew
even
you.
know. It's so weird to see him wrestle in short hair.
Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of haircuts, did you see the story that was circulating about wrestlers who are officially approved by WWE to have haircuts?
I did. I saw that the list existed. I have not looked through the list yet.
Here's a good laugh. One of the people who is permitted is Bobby Lashley. Take a moment. Think about why.
Yep. I didn't even need the moment.
I don't even know why he would have to be so weird.
I mean, does that mean he can also, if he so chooses, not get a haircut?
I guess.
And let it grow out? Because
I want to see that.
That's kind of a look I want to see. I don't know
I want
that
to
I've
see
ever
Bobby
seen.
Lashley with hair. I don't think he ever has. I've just always seen him permanently bald-headed.
I was gonna say I think he was born bald, but that's a dumb statement to make because
I think my sister was born with like a full head of hair. I know my son was. It's not uncommon.
True. My sister had a full head of hair
when it does happen. It's like
that's true. That is very true. Yeah, all of my sister's baby pictures, she has crazy hair going everywhere. Well, let's head back to the ring for our second of 11 big matches. In fact, the winner of this match will be facing Ashino in round number 3.
Whenever a talent on our card likes one of our tweets, I officially make them a friend of the show, which this one includes Casey Catal.
Heck yeah. Casey Catal is awesome. I don't know how much of her stuff you've seen, but had to do a little bit of research to get... Again, this is my edit, so I do apologize, Casey. This is not a great likeness of you. For whatever reason, the editing suite in Fire Pro is not great at creating realistic-looking women's bodies. But you do remember...
I don't think any video game has ever been realistic.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Over the last few years, the in-game models have gotten pretty good, but it's never been easy to create them.
They have never been able to nail hair.
No. So Casey Catal, we saw, let's see, I didn't make a note of what episode it was, but it was recent because, she's one of my edits. She pulled off a pretty big upset when she beat Erin Stevens. She's the 425 seed. He was number 88, 16 minutes and 14 seconds with a face slam. Of course, Frankie Kazarian, who up until 2 days ago was the number 1 contender for the AEW TNT Championship, coming up short in his bid to reclaim that title, or not reclaim, claim that title from his former SCU tag team partner Scorpio Sky. We saw him in episode 21 defeat Flyer. We'll see whose luck will continue.
Did you catch the match on Rampage?
I did not, unfortunately. I tried to watch it last night, and shockingly, the TNT app was having technical difficulties. And I got partway into the first match before it just completely froze and never loaded again.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like you're gonna have to watch it, and I'm just gonna need your opinion on it later when you do find it, because it's one of those things where I'm just like, what are we doing here with this story? Who's good, who's bad?
I did hear about what the next title match is going to be, which is less than thrilling. It'll be a good match.
Yeah.
The last one was good, but also the fact that there was a last one, and the champion has only had 2 defenses now. Maybe we don't need to be giving the former champion a rematch again so soon. Also, again, who's the face, who's the heel?
Yeah, like, it just felt like what happened in the match was more unnecessary booking of maybe being forced something that we're all not really, like, behind. And it just, it's confusing to me. Because here's the thing. You would think, like, based on the way that Sky has been working, that he's kind of naturally progressing towards leaving American Top Team.
Yeah.
It's just not going that way, because like all of a sudden they're cutting heel promos, and then they're not, and then they're it don't make sense.
No. Now, and I know that the lines are a little blurred in AEW between face and heel, and that's fine, but you shouldn't be switching depending on who you're feuding with. Like,
Right.
It should be consistent. If you're cutting, pardon the term, asshole promos
Right.
1 week, you shouldn't be changing it up just because now you're up against a heel. But but oh well. I mean, that's AEW is still the best national promotion that we have.
Did you see that he brought back the motion side by side graphics?
I did see
wrestlers? That was awesome.
For the Double or Nothing promos, I did see these.
Apparently, if you just ask Tony Khan to do something, he will change it.
Apparently, yeah.
Somebody asked on Twitter, "Hey, can you put the house lights back up on the crowd?"
It's like that Skittles commercial that they're showing now with where they're reading the mean tweets about taking away lime. But it's just Tony Khan sitting at a desk in Jacksonville like, oh, we should change the lights back. And it does. It looks so much better with the lights changed back.
It's good to see, like, a hyped crowd.
Yeah. Although, I just saw that guy in the front row with his legs crossed and his arms crossed. He's apparently not super into Frankie Kazarian against Casey Catal here.
No, everybody has their own tastes.
Yep. So when I went to training Friday, I was one of the first ones there, and we were just kind of hanging out in the lounge area waiting for others to show up. And AJ, the head trainer, was watching an old Raw from 2002, and it was a mixed tag with Big Show and Molly Holly against Trish Stratus and Bubba Ray Dudley. That's quite a combination, right? And it was jarring. Like, I forgot how before the no violence against women for male wrestlers stuff started, some of the bumps that the women were taking. Like, there was a moment where Big Show was getting ready to choke slam Bubba, and Trish comes running in, and he just, like, high faces her halfway across the ring.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's jarring based on how wrestling is now. I mean, and granted, you watch indie shows or watch Japanese shows and see the men competing against the women. That's different. Oh man, flux capacitor, I think, from Catal, but Frankie just pops right up.
Probably because he knows how to take the move.
Probably, and also he's been in pretty firm control of the match so far, and so Casey just didn't have a lot of mustard on it. Also, didn't have the energy to roll over for a cover. She might have been able to get a quick
when other wrestlers do other people's finishers, doesn't always necessarily. Right. I mean, we saw CM Punk do the buckshot, which I didn't think was going to happen. I honestly thought he was going to do like the Deadeye, and that was it.
1, 2. 0.9. Casey kicks out of it as well. But like I was saying, you see it on the indies, you see it in Japan and Mexico. 1, 2, 0.9. They're trading these very close near falls here. Our referee from Glate is right on top of it. But you just don't see it in the major American promotions anymore. You don't see it in WWE. You don't see it in AEW. You don't see it in Impact. You don't see it... Well, I guess you do see it in Impact, because Jordan Grace has been competing with men for most of her run.
Jordan Grace is awesome.
Jordan Grace is fantastic. She's just one of my favorite wrestlers at the moment, male or female. She's fantastic. Big brain buster from Casey, almost gets the 3. Elbow to the back of the head. She is definitely changing. I like how she's. I was gonna say I like how she's acutely aware of where the hard cam is. But Frankie pops up into the. That's it.
That'll do it.
That's what happens when the guy who basically invented the move does it. 14 minutes, 29 seconds. Frankie Kazarian, the 23-year vet, moves past Casey Catal and into round 3 and a showdown with Shotaro Ashino. Wave of the future is what he calls that move. Or as Lisa Simpson would say, wave of the future!
Or if you've watched The Aviator, Wave of the Future. Wave of the Future. Wave of the Future.
So far the favorites are 2-0.
Listen, you can get Simpsons reference and obscure movie quotes from us, guaranteed.
That's right.
If
Come for the wrestling, stay for the
provide that
random
side of entertainment.
sports entertainment.
Sports entertainment. It's just like it's his natural Canadian voice.
Uh-huh.
But you realize like how much of Chicago pulls from that, because he does sound like one of the guys from the SNL sketch of The Bears.
The Bears.
But like that's just how he talks. There's nothing else to it.
That's not a gimmick.
Magic Mike. or Daddy Magic.
Daddy Magic. Yeah.
Daddy Magic Matt. Or whatever.
Yeah. I'm still wrapping my head around the new names.
Oh, but it's such a perfect gimmick because their names are Matt, Lee, and Jeff Parker.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we use our real names. And he says, like, that's Jake Hager. I'm Chris Jericho. We use our real names.
Right. Well, I mean, for all we know, he has legally changed his name to Jericho.
That's why I love like them taking the piss out of sports entertainment with this stuff, because all of the things are just like, first of all, seeing Daniel Garcia in a Kango hat, a hat that has not been worn by anyone cool, unless you're Samuel L. Jackson, and that's the only person who was ever able to pull it off.
LL Cool J in like the early 90s.
It's debatable.
That's true. That's true.
Look, I know ladies love Cool James, but you know that hat. Cool not always.
That's fair.
I love having that as like the stupid trivia in my back pocket for stuff like that, for questions that are at like bar trivias.
What the type
just
of
useless
hat
information like what does LL Cool J stand for?
Ladies love Cool James. Supposedly. Oh, Sal Renaro, I'm sorry, I forgot to fix the hole in the back of your head. That's on me.
Oh, what a statement.
The native of Los Angeles, California. Your favorite
Sal,
wrestler.
I'm sorry, I forgot to fix the hole in the back of your head.
The hole in the back of your head.
You sound like Dr. Nick just there.
Well, if it isn't my old friend Mr. McGregor, with a leg for an arm and an arm for a leg. So, Sal Renaro, another one of my edits, clearly, because he's missing a large chunk of his head, upset The Miz back in episode 20. And he's in there with Big Willie Mack, who represented Impact Wrestling in the first round, but is now a free agent. He defeated fellow Impact wrestler Diener way back in episode 4.
Cody Diener?
Cody Diener. Yes, indeed.
I wonder where Willie Mack will go. My answer? Everywhere.
Everywhere. Anywhere he wants to.
Anywhere he damn well pleases.
Yeah, Willie Mack is one of those guys who, I mean, he's 5'10", 280. He's just a massive man, but he moves. I mean, he's very like, well, I guess they both probably came along at about the same time. But like, if you like Keith Lee and you've never seen Willie Mack, you're gonna like Willie Mack.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You should check out some Willie Mack matches.
Check out Willie Mack versus Keith Lee.
Yes. Oh man,
Pro Gorilla.
That's 600 pounds worth of cruiserweight action in that match.
Oh, it's insane.
A fantastic sequence right at the start of that, with flips and leapfrogs. Oh god, Renaro was going for a Frankensteiner, and Willie Mack shut that down in a hurry.
As Keith Lee would say, indubitably. I love his his Nick Bockwinkel over-intelligent style promos. Yes. Which just says it's so cold and calculating.
Which, by the way, that's going to be a fun match at Double or Nothing, which I assume is the direction they're going.
I feel like that is too. Yeah. Sal Renaro, though, I've been watching on on NWA.
NWA Power, yeah.
Yeah,
Your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler.
absolutely.
He was one half of the Southern Fried Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions middle of last year, winning those from Bull Payne, if you remember Bull Payne, who's been around forever, and Ben Buchanan, who is now better known as Brooks Jensen in NXT, to the standing moonsault from Mac, only gets a 2 count.
The names in NXT are just so forgettable.
Uh-huh. Yep. Granted, I don't watch every week, but I struggle to keep track of who is who anymore.
I will say this: I've been entertained from the clips that I've seen of Tony D'Angelo's Mop War, because he's basically become Al Pacino in no, not Al Pacino. He's become oh god,
Brando.
No, the Al Capone portrayal in The Untouchables.
Oh,
That's basically what he's doing. Robert De Niro. Yeah.
De Niro, yeah. For some reason, I had it stuck. I had John Travolta as John Gotti stuck in my head. It's like, I know that's not right.
But I mean, like they've been pulling from every mob stereotype trope. But like recently, I only say it was because he did basically. I want him dead. I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground. Like almost verbatim.
Which also has elements of one of my favorite movies from childhood, Dick Tracy.
Oh yeah,
very
God,
different way.
that's that. You know what? To be honest, it's more like Dick Tracy.
It's Al Pacino as
NXT
Big Boss.
Dick Tracy.
1, 2. Oh, not enough. That's really distracting. I'm sorry, Sal. I promise I'll fix it for round 3 if you win. I know it only bothers me, but it bothers me.
I mean, I think it's a
bothers me
great
that,
distraction to have a hole in the back of your head.
Fair.
In a wrestling match.
To have your hair just draping over nothing.
It's gonna freak anybody out.
California Destroyer.
Nice.
Californian Destroyer.
South.
Got Cradle Tombstone from Willie Mack, followed by the Standing Moonsault 2.9. I thought that was going to do it. Brutal combination of moves. Snap Power Slam from Renaro. Just a baseball slide drop kick to the face.
I always love seeing that talent still have MySpace pages.
Oh, God.
Sal Renaro doesn't, but again, it's just that he's just had one. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's been updated or anything.
Sure.
Because MySpace is completely different. It's like unrecognizable.
Yeah. I kind of wish I had not deleted my MySpace account.
Me too.
There are years of photos that I don't have anymore
Right.
that were all on MySpace. But
What did we know?
what did we know? Yeah. We should have known that, you know, how did we not foresee that the guy who played the founder of Napster in the movie about the guy that founded Facebook would buy MySpace? Or at least a large share of it.
I'm curious to see if Willie Mack might go back to make some NWA appearances and try to regain that national championship.
I could see that. I could also see him going to Mexico for a while because we know he likes to work the lucha style.
Backflip to nowhere.
Right, yes.
Willie Mack saw it coming.
He gave it the old Samoa Joe. Nah. And Willie Mack advances. The number 168 seed Willie Mack will now face the winner between an upcoming match in today's episode between Moose and Mistezzi's Jr. So 3 for 3 on the favorites. They're calling that a 2-step kick that Mack used to win the match. Number 168 Willie Mack over 424 Sal Renaro. We're closing in on getting to the point where the participants in the match were actually both favored in their first round match, but not yet. Our highest rated match of the day at 97% was also our shortest match of the day. You have somewhere you need to be?
I will also let you know that today in wrestling history, Bam Bam Bigelow pinned Erwin R. Shyster in the main event of the live edition of Monday Night Raw from Binghamton, New York. And then this was interesting to me. The followed up taped editions, Shawn Michaels returned against King Kong Bundy.
All right. Man, Bam Bam Bigelow. One of the, I mean, you like Willie Mack, you like Keith Lee, you would like Bam Bam Bigelow.
I adored Bam Bam. I thought
Bam Bam was great
awesome.
in the 80s and in the early 90s, and then had just a career renaissance when he went to ECW in
he had like this
97.
timeless look to him.
He was fantastic in ECW. Didn't even really work the extreme style other than going through the stage with Taz on his back.
I mean, him and Taz at Heatwave is just insane.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ECW matches of all time. That title match between those two, just absolutely great stuff. Bam Bam, way ahead of his time. Can you imagine if Bam Bam came along now?
He'd be a star.
A guy
Absolutely.
that size that could move that well. Yeah, he would.
He'd
Somebody
be
would
on
have
the
him
indies
as the face of their
everywhere.
promotion. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd want to be booked like everywhere. He'd be that guy that you just like book as an attraction to just be like, look at this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, 390 pounds, pulling off cartwheels and moonsaults, and yeah. I mean, probably wouldn't use the diving headbutt so much these days, but that's a horse of a different color.
Also, I just realized as I'm reading this, in 2000 in WCW, and you could just tell from the state of what WCW was in just from this.
I like any
3 title changes happened on Nitro in Biloxi, Mississippi. Chronic defeated Shane Douglas and The Wall for the World Tag Team titles.
Okay.
Crowbar and Daphne defeated Chris Candido and Tammy for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Okay.
And in the main event, Ric Flair won his 15th World Championship, defeating Jeff Jarrett.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. But, Chris Candido and Tammy, huh?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that's WCW in 2000. By the way, I have recently...
we think about like how Raw tends to like hotshot titles a lot.
Oh.
This, like,
2000.
WCW in 99 and 2000 was just like, you want it?
Yeah.
Sure. Here.
Yep. Speaking of Chris Candido, I have recently gotten into micro brawlers. Have you ever seen these? Pro Wrestling Tees sells them. They are rad. Here's my Chris
cool.
Candido.
No gimmicks needed.
Green screen is not liking him. But I bought a grab bag from Pro Wrestling Tees recently. Came with Candido, Adam Bomb, Glacier,
Oh, jeez.
and IRS.
Very cool.
This is a motley crew if ever there was one. But I kept opening it and being like, oh, awesome. Oh, awesome. Like, genuinely, of these 4, the only one I ever had a figure for was IRS. I had the old the Hasbro, lift his arm up and he stomps down figure. I had a Sunny, but I don't think they ever made a Skip figure.
Probably not.
So, and I know there was a Adam Bomb Hasbro, but I never got that one. I made a list recently of all the Hasbro figures I did not have. It's actually longer than I thought it was. I thought I was closer to having a full collection. But maybe someday we can make a little money off this show and I can complete the collection. But we mentioned earlier in the show that our main event today is Takagi against Mark Briscoe. The winner of that match will face the winner of this match. See Brett Titus, who has recently made some enhancement appearances on AEW programming over the the last couple weeks. Presumably will be part of Ring of Honor when it relaunches, whenever that winds up happening. Clearly seems to be on at least pretty good terms with TK, so keeps bringing him back to work enhancement. He did work the Supercard of Honor show as well. He defeated JD Drake back in episode 4 with his Retribution finisher. Retribution! Oh, no, wait, that's something else. He's in there against Eita from Dragon Gate Pro Wrestling, originally from Nagano, Japan, site of the 1998 Winter Olympics. He also, on episode 4, I made a note of the seed of the person he defeated, but did not make a note of who. One moment, please. Jack Evans, now formerly of AEW. Eita defeated him back in episode 4. So these two have been waiting 23 episodes for their next crack at advancing in the 500, and one of them will today, presumably, in case, if we don't have a double count out or something, which we have not yet had a draw through 268 matches. Yeah, that sounds right.
We haven't had any. I don't think we've had any countouts, right?
We have had, I believe we have, but I'm blanking on when. So I may just be making that up. Let's see, what do we got here? Well, it says there are results when I search for it, but... Oh, yep. JR Kratos beat LSG by countout back in episode 8. Luchasaurus beat Isaiah Broner by countout in episode 16. Those are the only two.
All right.
So 2 out of 260 something. Still pretty good. Pretty good percentage of matches ending in the ring with either a pinfall or a submission. There's been some cheating. We've definitely seen some low blows leading to finishes, some weapon shots leading to finishes, but
yeah, we don't condone that.
We don't. But as we have said time and time again, we leave that up to the referee's discretion, which is how we were able to have that 48-minute bloody brawl between Nick Gage and Brett Eisen.
Yeah, that was as much a marathon for us as it was for you folks.
Yes, that was it was a brutal contest. Big clothesline from Rhett. Eita, the number 120 seed in our tournament. It's his highest placement ever in the PWI 500. His previous high was number 175 back in 2019. And Rhett Titus tied his lowest seed ever. He was previously number 376 in 2007, which was also his PWI 500 debut. So combined about 27 years experience between these two. Rhett Titus, the native of Long Beach Island, New Jersey, and they're against Nagano's Eita.
Yeah, I've worked with Rhett before. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I've only ever heard good things about him, or good things, as I started to say.
He's only also gotten better with each
Vertebreaker from Eita. That might do it. 1, 2.9. That kicks out.
I think that this foundation style wrestling that Rhett has been doing lately is his prime form.
Yeah, agreed. I liked his All Night Express stuff with Kenny King, but I think the foundation is a much better fit for his style.
And you can see it too, the way he puts himself out there for the ring.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
When the talent is enjoying themselves, they put on their best work.
Weird how that happens.
Who knew?
Let somebody be themselves, or an amplified version of themselves. And more often than not, they'll get over with that.
Indeed.
Like, hey, we mentioned Matt Cardona earlier.
Yeah, he's in the best form he's ever been in.
Yeah, and he's just being pure. I mean, he's being a heel version of himself. 2, 3, oh no, 2.9.
Is he being a heel version of himself, or is he just being himself?
Well, speaking of heel version, Eita with a kick right to the balls. Just straight up.
He's going to break that arm.
Take it with him when he's Pentagon Jr. Or I guess at that point he was Pentagon Dark, right? He was, stealing
Asura? No, he's back to Pentagon. He's back to Penta Zero. Whatever. He's back to Penta.
Oh, no, I meant in Lucha Underground when he was going around collecting arms. That was when he was Pentagon Dark, right?
Well, with the high-low fly.
Big moonsault from Eita picks up the win. Number 120 moves on. I think they're probably just going to call that a moonsault, unless it's got a special name. Moonsault press. Less than 10 minutes. Very short match. I think that's going to crack the top 10 shortest matches in the tournament thus far. I will pull those numbers when we take our halftime break here coming up. But Eita moves on. He will face the winner between the winner of our main event, Shingo Takagi or Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, coming up, we've got a guy who I feel really could have been fantastic if they had given him a chance in WWE. Because he had only showed up once in NXT, maybe like once or twice. But, man, I would have loved to have seen James Storm, who's coming up, really just have like a solid kick-ass run.
Yeah.
But it was not meant to be.
It was not to be. And he's in there with somebody else who, could have been more than he was, although he had a solid run in NXT.
Yeah.
But it was not
apparently
everything.
Got promised everything and given nothing.
Well, that's never happened before. Breaking precedent there, Vince. We are, of course, talking about Jonah, in all caps, who just recently left Impact. He's been primarily competing on New Japan Strong, which I think is what he's going to be representing in this match. I unfortunately don't remember what I had him set up as. We'll see very shortly as I add the wrestlers for the match. You have any more this day in history or this week in
yes,
history?
Actually, I had it. Closing it for some reason.
Well,
there we go.
As one of our participants in this match would say, sorry about your damn luck.
On the go-home edition of WWF Raw in the year 2000, before the Judgment Day pay-per-view from Cleveland, Chris Benoit defeated The Rock in a non-title submission match. Crash Holly lost and regained the hardcore title from one of the Godfather's ladies.
Mm-hmm. One of his special friends. Yep, that was a time.
This is also the day that
The music died.
the Second City Saints defeated Jay and Mark Briscoe for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship.
Was that Punk and Cabana or
Yes.
Cabana and
That
Steel?
was Punk and Colt Cabana
All right.
in Lexington, Mass.
Didn't even know there was a Lexington, Mass. I only knew about the one in Kentucky. But yeah, here is Cowboy James Storm, the number 329 seed. He upset Harry Smith way back in episode 5 in a 100% match. It was our fourth 100% of the tournament. There have been many, many since then. We're at like 36 now or something. And here comes the King of Monsters, Jonah, who defeated the number 440 seed Omar Amir in episode 20. We've been talking for weeks now about the rise in Australian wrestling. Jonah very much kind of at the forefront of that, the native of Adelaide in South Australia, which is one of those towns. Adelaide is one that I always forget when, being an Australian stereotype.
That I know. Adelaide, Perth, and Sydney.
And Melbourne.
Four. Melbourne.
Yeah. Melbourne. I just always forget Adelaide when I'm doing an offensive Australian stereotype. That is, our referee is, I believe that's Sayuri Namba from Tokyo Joshi Pro. It is. The winner of this will face the winner of our upcoming contest between Sheamus and Forastero, our old friends over at Nueva Generación Dinamita, which I believe he's the last man standing for MGD. I think Quattrero and Sansone have both been eliminated. Yeah, Quattrero lost to Brian Myers. Sansone lost to JTG. So yeah, Forastero, the last hope for Nueva Generación Dinamita. Our favorite stable in Lucha Libre.
It's so good that I can never even attempt to say it.
We'll have to do
I just
follow the bouncing ball translation.
Yeah, I'll take a course in Babel.
Generación Dinamita.
Sure, it's easy when you do it like that.
Follow the bouncing mask.
It's just a luchador springing from rope to rope to rope.
The word is spelled all weird because they have to keep going back and forth. This is even more confusing than it was before. Welcome to Lucha! Or the text is very small and it's Microman.
Actually, the bouncing ball is Microman.
Oh, Microman.
It's
legit
amazing
probably the
how much
number
I
2
love
babyface in MLW right now.
I will never get over how much I love Microman.
Microman is great. I mean, there is no. It's not a coincidence that in the MLW merch commercial that they show like 3 times on every episode of Fusion.
Oh yeah,
Microman is the second face you see. You see Hammerstone, and then you see Microman.
He's worth
and then
every
you
penny.
see the Von Erichs. That's how invested in Microman they are. That's what they should be.
Micromania is running wild in MLW.
That's right. Mr. Saint Laurent found a star. Will Microman make the 2022 PWI 500?
I hope so.
We'll find out in a few months.
Truly hope so, because I have no idea how we'll make that avatar.
Oh yeah, I mean we saw how horrific the Hornswoggle one was. I'm sorry, Swoggle.
Yeah, because you can't do minis in this game.
No.
As much as we'd love to. Because I would absolutely put Microman in an exploding barbed wire death match. just the avatar, not the person.
Right, yes.
I would not want that individual to be harmed in any way.
No. Put Microman in there against Satnam Singh and just watch what happens.
There's a man who's literally the size of that man's head.
Yeah. 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 I would not be surprised if Satnam Singh has had BMs bigger than Microman. Powerbomb from Jonas.
We're an A-class show, folks.
That's right. That's right. We may not be the number 1 streaming show, but we're number 2.
To someone.
No, but yeah.
I'm sure we're the number 2 to a lot of people for some things.
Probably to Satnam Singh after that joke.
Yeah. I'm interested in what he does in the ring. I really want to see what he can do. Because apparently he's like been really impressive in the training.
Well, the bar is not high for Indian giants in mainstream American wrestling.
That's true. You just have to be able to walk to the ring and get over the ropes and not hurt yourself.
Yep.
And so far, he's nailed it.
If he's physically capable of being eliminated from a battle royal, he is already the best giant, best Indian giant in the history of American mainstream wrestling.
I never understood, like, it's just that goldfish booking mentality of, why should I be scared of, like, the Big Show or Great Khali if he's going to win or be eliminated from a thing? Because they always are.
Uh-huh. Every time. The number of times that the Royal Rumble has been won by the biggest person in it, I believe is 1. Possibly 2. I don't remember who all was in the one that Big John Studd won. But other than that, 93 when Yokozuna won. It's the only time I can think of that the biggest person in the Rumble won the Rumble. Yeah. A big brainbuster from Jonah.
Ooh.
Storm just pops right back up. Yeah, I'm really struck. I think that's probably... I would need to go back and look at who all was in the... Oh, and Storm pulls off another upset.
Well, there you go.
The brief run WWE alumni. Took out Harry Smith in the first round, and now Jonah in round 2. Jonah, sorry about
your damn luck.
Wins it with the lariat. Tennessee Cowboy, James Storm.
Long necks and rednecks are his friends.
That's right. That's right. He moves on to face the winner between Sheamus and Forastero. All of which is coming up after the break.
We will be right back, folks. We will see you in 5.
we're back.
We're
5
live,
matches
pal.
down, 6 more to go. Man, sounds like there was some excitement at the IWE event last night.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
didn't have a chance to
No,
watch the clip, but
I like to cruise through Fightful between during the break, and sometimes there's like a story that pops up that I am insane to not talk about it. At an IWE event in where was it? Where did it say it was? I don't think it did. Last night, I guess. I'm not sure where Intense Wrestling Entertainment works out of, but Joe Black had retained his title. Apparently, was some fan was mouthing off to him. He smacked his baseball cap off the head, and then the fan proceeded to headbutt in retaliation. Something tells me there was a little bit of a different motivation behind it, the way that he looked at that particular talent.
yeah,
Doesn't feel like he just needed an excuse. He was going to try and hit this guy anyway.
yeah.
Man. First of all,
Yeah.
don't touch the wrestlers, guys.
No,
Don't.
no.
They could murder you if they wanted to.
Uh-huh.
You would be destroyed. I don't know what that guy was trying to prove. He's an idiot. And if the talent were not stopped, they would have destroyed him.
Oh,
He
yes.
would have been leaving, not escorted out of the building, but on a stretcher.
Yes. IWE is based in the Southeast. Their headquarters is in
Okay,
South Carolina.
that explains it.
Yep. I haven't been able to find where. I still can't.
I'm
find
gonna
where
just
last
jump to
night's show was.
conclusions. It may not be true or not, but I personally am just gonna jump to conclusions.
I think it's fair. I mean, Joe Black is, he's not exactly a rookie. He's young, but he's not exactly a rookie. Like, wrestlers know how to let stuff roll off their backs.
Yeah.
So whatever it was that this fan was saying to him had to be pretty impressively awful for it to escalate like that.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, I mean, honestly, tensions were probably a little high anyway, considering what happened in Buffalo yesterday.
Yeah.
Should Joe have knocked the guy's head off? No.
No.
Should the fan
It's not always smart, you know.
Right. And, should the fan have retaliated the way he did? Absolutely not.
No. No. Look, if a
but-
wrestler takes your sign, rips it up, have fun with it. If a wrestler,
Sure.
first of all, if you're gonna taunt the wrestlers, don't be a dick.
Yes.
Don't be an asshole about it.
There are acceptable ways to taunt a wrestler.
There's
and
absolutely
what
plenty
we
of
both
ways.
presume happened is not one of them.
I will say there's a great story. Dusty Rhodes was, I think, having a match with Junkyard Dog, and he was in the South. And Dusty Rhodes, he's the hero of the area.
Yeah.
And I think it was probably
Below
a
the
Florida
woods,
show.
maybe.
I'll just assume it's Florida because they're terrible.
It probably was.
And somebody cheers for Dusty and says, "Yeah, beat that up." And Dusty turns to the fan and say, "You gotta go." That's not what we do here.
Good for Dusty.
That's not what I'm about. And I was like, damn right.
What would
And
sweep that by?
I think he even said if I wasn't a nicer man, I would have popped him in the mouth. And he was within his rights.
Sure.
I would have done it. Be like, no, you gotta leave.
Yeah.
Now, granted,
has no
we
place
don't
in
know the
wrestling.
whole story, and to be honest, we're not popular enough for anyone to accuse us, so I don't care.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna just jump to my own conclusions and say that guy didn't like Joe Black because he's
Mhm.
Joe Black.
It's Joe Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's sad to say, but as somebody who lives in the Southeast, and I'm even on the northern end of the Southeast, I see the flags that my neighbors wave.
Still
from
there.
their pickups. I see.
Dude, there's a whole, I'm in Jersey, and there are people with Confederate flags, and I'm like,
Yep.
what?
Yeah. Yep. There's a.
You have no excuse to say it's history.
I grew up in Michigan, and we had them there too. Like about as far from the Confederacy as you possibly can. Like,
although
we know what you're saying.
There was, what was it? I saw it was a rainbow flag version of the Confederate flag, and the caption was, "This is not what I said when I thought of Southern pride."
That's funny. That I could get behind. Reclaim that. Yeah, there's billboards up all over Nashville right now because a certain former president is coming to speak at an event later this month. And so
man doesn't speak; he just talks.
Well, yes, that's true.
And he hopes something relevant comes out.
Not exactly a great orator, no. It's Abe Lincoln. He's not. This certain former president. There are billboards up all over. Just
of course,
Nashville supports. What? History's greatest monster, Jimmy Carter. Yeah.
Speaking of Jimmy Carter, I was there the day that him and his family were there on Star Tours, and I got to load in him and his family. It was fantastic. What a wonderful gentleman. Yeah. I won't be going on the ride, but my family sure does love it. He's absolutely as soft-spoken as any impression is.
I believe it.
My grandkids love the Star Wars. The Star Wars.
The Star Wars. Yeah, that sounds right. Here's some money. Go see a Star Wars.
Yeah. Speaking of Louisville, Kentucky, in the South, today, Triple H and The Undertaker fought to a no contest in the main event, the go-home edition of SmackDown before Judgment Day. This would be Triple H's last appearance on SmackDown for 8 months due to the legitimate quadricep injury, which happened 6 days prior on Raw. So he still wrestled.
He worked a match. Huh.
With no quad.
Huh. I don't remember that. I always thought that the injury was the last time we saw him until that Rumble. Or the
like he
MSG
hurt
show
himself,
when he came back
but then he just, I guess, like, maybe it got aggravated then even more.
Man,
like,
it
that's insane to me.
Jeez. Good for you, Hunter.
Yeah. One of the best, like, I will say, like, when he came back, that whole video package and, like, the highlights that were
My Sacrifice by Creed.
Yeah, like, that was really one of their best ones.
Oh, yeah.
And then the return at Rumble was just... Was it Rumble or was it It was just...
He showed up on the Raw at Madison Square Garden to say he was going to be in the Rumble.
My God.
Yeah.
That return was just amazing.
Yeah.
That was, like, peak Triple H popularity of just... Again, proving my point that the best way for someone to be received in the WWE is to not be there.
Yes. Yep.
You have to go
a bigger
away
star than
and
somebody
then come
back
to be loved.
Yep. You go away so we can love you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Familiarity breeds contempt among the WWE universe.
It's sad but true.
Speaking of familiarity, you may think you recognize this next man coming to the ring, but unless you are an avid watcher of Lucha Libre AAA Worldwide, aka AAA, you may think you recognize this man, but Mistezis Jr. is not who you think he is. This is not Sin Cara. This is not Mystico. We've been through the whole branching family tree of this. I'm not going to go deep into it.
It's like conspiracy theory level pinboard at this point.
Basically, Mistezis Jr. took over the Mistezis moniker when Mystico went to CMLL. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Don't worry about it, really. And he's in there with Moose, representing Impact. Mistezis beat Elias back in episode 4. That was actually Elias, not his brother Ezekiel, because Ezekiel had not debuted yet. And Moose,
no, he was just hanging back.
Yeah. And Moose defeated Zombie Dragon in episode 20. Zombie Dragon! Sorry. That's
Super Dragon. Oh shit.
Still real to me, damn it.
I like only know of just the soundbite of that clip. Like it was just one guy chanting for Super Dragon in a PWG show. He turned him around and just like was ready to kill him.
Yeah, that's as far as I only know it from Botchamania.
Yeah,
that was like one of their signature clips for years. But I don't think I've ever seen that full match. Jesus! There was 5 of them! Danzig.
I'm backstage here with Danzig. Danzig, what's happening there?
That man is Jeff Harvey. Man.
I will say I'm happy that Moose was dethroned by Josh Alexander.
Yes.
Moose, I love you, but you stole that.
Yep. The walking weapon has his title back.
Had a
Finally.
great match against Ishii in a great title defense. Tomohiro Ishii has been on a tear lately. I have to still watch the full Washington, D.C. show with him and Eddie Kingston just beating the living hell out of each other from what I heard.
Yeah.
Kingston's dream match. Like, it is something that he has been dying to do forever, and he finally got a chance.
Yeah.
I love it.
Gotta love wrestlers living their dreams. And, Moose trying to make this match a nightmare for Mestezzi's. Almost double his size. Moose is 299 pounds to Mestezzi's is 150.
He's
off by a pound from being twice as large as his opponent here. The Orlando native against the Torreon native, Mestezzi's Jr. Member of Los Jinetes del Aire, a stable of high flyers that includes the new, I say new in air quotes, because the match was taped back in March, but it just aired on Fusion this week. The new MLW Caribbean champion, Octagon Jr., formerly known as Golden Magic, because Luchadors and Lucha Libre changed their names a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, the former Golden Magic is now Octagon Jr., and he's now the Caribbean champion. Doesn't have anything to do with this match other than he's in a stable with Mr. Jr. Because everybody's in a stable in AAA and CMLL.
Yeah.
Because they do so many trios matches. It's very AEW-like in that regard.
Speaking of trios, Tony Khan has stated he has the actual belts in his home.
They have been made.
And he's waiting.
Yep.
And apparently he's had other title belts for the promotion made too that are just like standing by, and I'm like, easy.
Huh. All right, TK.
Let's not go nuts.
Yeah, maybe we'll...
You don't need to be New Japan with everyone has a belt.
Right. Oh, man. CMLL has New Japan beat.
Yeah.
But also CMLL has titles that are never defended. So, like, guys
That's
have had
also
those
true,
since
yeah.
2017.
They have NWA belts that have not been recognized.
Yeah,
for
pretty
years.
much. Yeah, CMLL. Let me pull up. I did because we've talked about this before. I keep track of title changes in the game so that when wrestlers come out, it says who if Moose was still the Impact champion, it would say he's the Impact champion. So they have the World Heavyweight title, the World Light Heavyweight title, which Diablo Roja has had since 2017, the World Middleweight title, the World Welterweight title, the World Lightweight title, which is different from the World Light Heavyweight title, the World Mini Estrella Championship, the Micro Estrellas Championship, the World Tag Team titles, the World Trios titles, the World Women's title, the NWA World Historic Light Heavyweight Championship, which again, different from the Light Heavyweight Championship, the NWA World Historic Middleweight Championship. Again, separate from, I think that might have done it. Nope. Little Okite Yobure there from Mistezzi's. The NWA World Historic Middleweight Championship, the NWA World Historic Welterweight Championship, the Mexican...
All three of those have not been defended since 2018.
Yes, that's correct. The Mexican National Heavyweight Championship, the Mexican National Light Heavyweight Championship, the Mexican
Not
National
since
Middleweight
2013.
Championship, the Mexican National Welterweight Championship, the Mexican National Lightweight Championship, the Mexican National Tag Team Championship, the Mexican National Trios Championship, the Mexican National Women's Championship, and the Mexican National Women's Tag Team Championship. That does not include some of their regional titles.
I'll take this one.
Okay, go for it.
The CMLL Arena Coliseo Tag Team Championship.
Yes.
The Japanese Women's Tag Team Japanese Women's Championship.
Yes.
The Occidente Heavyweight.
Uh-huh.
And the same with Light Heavyweight, Middleweight, Welterweight, Tag Team, and Trios Championship.
Yes.
So, all in all, that is, in terms of what is listed as active championships, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 30 championships.
Yep. 12 world titles, 8 national titles, 8 regional titles. Yeah.
There is also an entire article about the defunct ones.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, let's not get into the Azteca Championship, the Mexican National Mini Estrella Championship. Ooh, Sunset Bomb from Mistezzi's. 2, 3. That does it.
Ooh,
just in
was
time,
that our
just
quickest
as we
match?
finish the list of CMLL titles. Mistezzi's Jr. pulls off another upset. He's knocked out Elias, and now he's taking out the number 40 seed Moose, who I don't have the number right in front of me, but I can get it quickly, is one of the highest seeds eliminated. Also, from the first half, I didn't mention that Eita Rhett Titus match was the 10th quickest match in the tournament at 9 minutes 57 seconds.
There you go.
Oh, Moose almost cracks the top 10 for highest seeds eliminated, but somehow 10 of the top 39 are all gone already. So at 86%, they're calling it a top rope roll-up pin, but we all know that was a sunset flip bomb. Number 296 is Mistezzi's Jr. While I flicker in and out of existence, my parents may not meet.
In 2005, today, Jeff Jarrett defeated AJ Styles for the NWA World Heavyweight title in the main event of TNA's Hard Justice from Orlando, Florida.
Hard Justice.
Jeff Jarrett involved in 2 title changes in history today.
It's almost like that guy won a lot of titles.
Yeah, NWA TNA certainly was not a vehicle for Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, no.
Right?
No,
right?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Just a remarkable coincidence that the whole thing was
absolutely
started by his father, and the world title was surgically implanted around his waist for like 6 years. By virtue of that victory, the hits keep coming for Mistezzi's Jr. He survived Moose. He now must face Willie Mack in round 3. So the road does not get any easier for our amigo Mistezzi's here. Set up our next match here, which will feature another luchador from Lucha Libre AAA Worldwide. Your friend and mine, 1/3 of Nueva Generación Dinamita, Forastero. He takes on our first WWE representative of the day, the number 56 overall seed. Not necessarily our friend, but he is friends with our friend Butch.
Best of friends.
Yes. Yeah, they could clearly go way back.
It's like he's some sort of British bulldog that they're trying to make him out to be.
Yes, some sort of, perhaps maybe some kind of sort of explosive child, um, like a combustible young.
A TNT toddler.
No, that's an AEW thing.
Oh, sorry, that is Sammy Guevara.
That's TNT toddler. I like it. Spanish God, the TNT toddler.
Maybe that's Brody Jr.
Yeah. I'm down.
Nah, I don't want to piss off -1.
No.
He'll hit me with the papers.
He's scary. That kid is scary. But yeah, Forastero, the number 201 seed. We saw him beat Joe During back in episode 5 with a swan dive missile drop kick. And on actually the previous week, in episode 4, we saw Sheamus defeat Mr. Grimm. Not to be confused with Mr. Black. Krusty's dear friend, Mr. Black.
You know, I put in Forastero on Cage Match, and 5 names popped up.
Yep. You want the one from Lagos de Moreno, Jalisco.
There we go.
Yeah. 1/3 of Nueva Generación Dinamita, trained by a trio, appropriately enough, of legends in the form of Cien Caras, Máscara Año 2000, and Universo 2000. Three lucha legends. Only 27 years old is Forastero.
Okay, so on Cage Match, the internet's wrestling database, you can get results from like everywhere because they're all fan updated.
Yes.
My favorite is just seeing the names of events that are like poorly translated from their title to their actual meaning. This might be my favorite. Freedoms, which is a show in Japan. In Yokohama Budokan. Hot Free People 2022.
Okay. All right. I wonder what that means.
I don't know. But it sounds like
people.
something that would be in my mail. Junk mail.
Yes, it does.
Hot Free People are in your area.
Honestly, it sounds like it'd be right next to Hard Justice. Sounds like an adult cop show. Hard Justice.
Or a Steven Seagal movie.
Or a Steven Seagal movie. Or a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Hey, he's better. Jean-Claude Van Damme is better than Steven Seagal.
He is, but he also has some silly names for his movies.
Oh, yeah, but Seagal as a human being is a terrible person.
Yes. Yeah, I presume you've seen video of that martial arts exhibition he put on.
He's so laughable.
Where it's...
I trained with some of the greatest fighters in all Japan.
No, you didn't.
Because a portion of me is Japanese.
No, a portion of you just appropriated Japanese culture.
You just like to wear kimonos. Let's
because they fit comfortably because nothing else fits.
I don't want to look like
I was
a
in the
weirdo.
CIA.
Just give me a
I was trained by Navy SEALs.
You know, you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah. That's actually kind of illegal.
That's not what people in the CIA say, unless they've been decommissioned.
Yes. Yeah.
I also wrote a blues album. And may have inoffensively, no, I did offensively sang Jamaican accents.
I've been listening to a podcast called Fraudsters, and they did an entire 3-part episode about Steven Seagal and his basic, just stealing everything.
That's fantastic. Yeah, there's not an original bone in his body.
All of his movies were basically just what's a title we can put Steven Seagal in front of, and then follow it with is. Steven Seagal is hard to kill.
Yeah. Let's the very first Google result was Steven Seagal a Navy SEAL? But yeah, Steven Seagal is above the law. Steven Seagal is under siege. Steven Seagal is the Patriot, not to be confused with the Mel Gibson Heath Ledger movie that is significantly better. Yeah. Geez, there's an entire section of his Wikipedia. It's like early life, martial arts, career, themes and motifs, other ventures, personal life. Section 7, allegations and lawsuits. There are 9 headers under that. Early 90s, 1995, 2010, 2011, 2017, 2018, 2020. Victim of attempted extortion and conflicts with stuntmen.
Yeah, no one likes working with Steven Seagal.
Oh, and Forastero. Sorry, we went off on a Steven Seagal.
We can't help it sometimes.
Forastero, in one of the quickest matches of the tournament thus far, definitely cracking the top 10. 9 minutes, 38 seconds. What did he win it with? I saw he was rolled in a sunset flip position, but maybe it was a code red. No, they're just calling it a roll up. Forastero. Lo siento for not.
Lo siento, Forastero.
I was expecting
We got caught
that
up.
match to go
Steven
longer.
Seagal, once again, you screwed something good up.
Steven Seagal is a distraction.
A Steven Seagal gimmick would be great if somebody was able to pull something up like that.
It's like a terrible martial artist.
He's ripped off everyone else, so.
Yeah. That could actually be a really good gimmick. Somebody who's just like, honestly, Orange Cassidy could probably pull something like that off. Where
I feel like you just need a guy who is just continually a liar in just regards to where they trained and what they've done, just to hype themselves up.
Yeah. Forastero, meanwhile, by virtue of that victory, will now face the Tennessee Cowboy James Storm in round number 3. Weird to think. I keep wanting to say 2 because we spent so long in round 1.
Yeah.
But we are beyond that now. We're moving on up in the world. We did mention
we are beyond wrestling. Well, we're not beyond wrestling. But
we're not beyond wrestling. We're beyond wrestling. We did mention a little bit last week that starting in round 3, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently, where we will actually be having 2 rounds in each episode to kind of help speed through some of this. And I also just realized I did not update somebody's affiliation. So when last I had updated the AEW roster, Lance Archer was hanging around with American Top Team, but that was before he went into like the full hired gun thing. He's not a member of that organization anymore. I'm also trying to figure out. Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, sorry, brain fart moment. But let's head to the ring for our 8th match. Tangaloa, who won our main event last week, upsetting Kazuchika Okada, is awaiting the winner of this match between Higher Cedric Alexander. That's still one of the coolest moments to come out of WWE in the last decade or so.
One of the last genuine moments, it seems.
Yeah. Cedric's appearance in the Cruiserweight Classic, leading to him getting a contract because the crowd just demanded it after his elimination.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander representing the Hurt Business.
I mean, more than likely he was going to be signed.
Right.
But Triple H coming out and just going, you know what? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Alexander advanced by defeating the world-famous CB, who I think is just back to being Cheeseburger now.
Yes, he is,
That's
actually.
what he's been going by. He's been on Dark a couple times. Plus, he was also teamed with his old buddy from the Shinobi Shadow Squad, Eli Isom.
He was back to being Cheeseburger in at the recent Ring of Honor pay-per-view.
Yes. Yep, the Super Card of Honor when they lost to Tully Blanchard Enterprises.
Yes, God, what a beast of a tag team, too.
Yeah. Khan and Toa Leona.
Yeah.
And of course, the Murder Hawk
I think they're just going by Toa and Khan.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
And the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, won his first round match against our new favorite fast rising star in women's wrestling, Willow Nightingale.
Absolutely.
The
God,
fact that
awesome.
she's still not signed is not right. Somebody throw a whole lot of money at Willow Nightingale.
Absolutely.
Because she is a star waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But she's unfortunately out of our tournament because she had the misfortune of being the 409th seed and having to face the 104th seed, Lance Archer.
I'm very happy that Lance Archer decided not to beat up anybody on the way to the ring.
Yes, he was given very specific instructions by PWS management to keep it in the ring. Well, keep it to the ring area.
Yeah. Don't take anybody with you on the way out.
Fight only your opponent.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that the one time that him and Suzuki teamed up in AEW was the only time that AEW, for some reason, had young boys around the ring.
Yes.
Just so they could beat them up.
Uh-huh. That's how Archer rolls.
So I'm catching up on some stuff of events coming in the future, and Terminus, which is slowly becoming one of my favorite promotions in terms of just being unique and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They're having an event, Modern Age Grappling, which is kind of like a sub-promotion, I guess, for it, because it has its own specific rules. Pro wrestling, Modern Age Grappling matches are 6 rounds of 5-minute segments with a 30-second break to the contenders between rounds. Time limits will be strictly adhered to. And they have all the rest of the Terminus rules in terms of like the 5 count on the outside of the ring,
Right. Rope breaks,
strikes, warnings. It's very, very interesting. Because I'm wondering, like, how do you have to really change your mindset in terms of how to tell a story in the ring with such, like, specific rules for the contest itself?
Unorthodox pinning combo there from Cedric Alexander. Swinging on this standing switch. And
Cedric is still in WWE, right?
What's that?
Cedric is still in WWE, right?
Yep. He and Shelton Benjamin are still carrying the Hurt Business mantle on Raw.
I kind of like this because it's been funny of just like, yeah, we're still the Hurt Business, right? Come on. And Bobby Lashley's like, no. Go home.
But now MVP has joined Omos.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, so I guess we're all that's left?
No, I wanted to keep him up. I wanted to just be like, man, we could help you with almost, you know? And
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley's just going, no, stop it.
Go away.
Stop trying to make this a thing. It's like the guy, it's like, dude, she broke up with you. Go
Right.
home. It's over. By the way, how long before Cedric Alexander is just
The
called
EVD Claw.
Cedric?
I think Vince would first have to remember that he's under contract.
Yeah, that too.
In order to do that.
Well, he could always be Gary the Goat.
Well, he could. Or eventually just Gary.
Just Gary.
Just Gary. Choke
Choke
slam.
slam. Right in the center of the ring.
0.9. Archer was looking for our third sub 10-minute match today. Jumping suplex from Alexander. That's not something you see very often. Didn't just swing his hips out. He actually got a little bit of vertical before dropping him down. 2 count, says referee Brian Zane.
Speaking of suplexes, and I was talking about Paradigm Pro Wrestling uses UWFI rules.
Mm.
One of the things I noticed is that apparently points are given in the matches.
Uh-oh, what's Archer doing?
Uh-oh.
Oh my god! Just barreled through him
Carrying
with his shoulder
spear.
tackle.
It's like he not only speared him, but he lifted him up.
Yeah. Oh, standing Spanish fly there from Cedric.
I love that move because it's insane.
Yes.
You never want to go strike for strike with Lance Archer, but apparently Cedric Alexander.
Roaring elbow from
And-
Cedric. Battle of semi-mohawks here, I just noticed. Oh,
Well, that's a murder hawk. You can't.
Fair.
It's a very specific style.
Yes. Running leg drop. The immortal Lance Archer.
Or as he's still on Twitter, Lance Hoyt. You know you can
Yes.
change your name on Twitter now.
Well, it's actually his name.
Yeah, I know. Hoytomania, though, always will be running wild.
Running wild.
Talk about like a lost opportunity.
2.9.
I mean, you want to talk about like making a star. Lance Hoyt was one of those guys where I was just like, they've made a star. Thank God, because they had none.
Yeah.
And that's not to discredit AJ and Smojo and Christopher Daniels, because to me they were still like they were the Ring of Honor guys.
They
who
were
came
Ring of
to
Honor
TNA.
guys that come over, yeah. Yeah, Hoyt was one of their first. Hoyt and Monty Brown were really like their first two.
Oh God, Monty
organic.
Brown. Talk about lost opportunity.
Yeah,
Should have put the belt on him.
they should have. They absolutely should have. Like, I love Raven and Rhino as much as the next guy, but yeah, Monty should have been the one to take the belt off Jarrett.
The pounce was just amazing.
Yeah,
He had so much charisma. And what I like also about Lance Hoyt was that the fans decided we're behind this guy.
yeah, yeah. He's just like Kid Cash's random muscle, but we really like him. So we're just gonna start chanting his name at every show.
Well, when you have an easily chantable name,
Yep.
Hoyt, 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 Hoyt.
Hoyt has been in control of most of this match. Cedric's gotten a couple of big moves in, but like every time he starts to get a little shine, Archer just shuts him right back down. Goes right back to that choke slam. Spikes him. 1, 2, 3. That did
There it is.
Valiant effort from Cedric, but there was no denying Lance Archer today. And let me see, double check what that means for the next round. Yeah, Lance Archer and Tangaloa in round 3. That
I
is
believe that'll be some sort of a rematch, right?
I believe so. I don't have that in front of me, but
Based on their real life exploits in New Japan.
Yeah, actually, I have Archer's cage match profile pulled up. I will just search. He has had 12 matches involving Loa.
There you go.
I think they have always been on opposing sides. Primarily tag matches. Actually, entirely tag matches. Killer Elite Squad beats GOD. War Machine beats Killer Elite Squad and GOD in a 3-way. It actually happened twice. Killer Elite Squad beats War Machine and GOD in a 3-way. Again.
So only tag matches.
Suzuki Gun beats Bullet Club in a 6-man.
So this would be their first one-on-one?
It'll be the first ever singles meeting between Lance
Wow.
Archer and Tangaloa after
Look at
12 tag and trios matches.
Gato, we're making history here, man.
Heck yeah. We're booking it before you can. Well, I mean, I guess you've got a few
You
weeks.
could. He's still got time.
He could still book it before we do.
Don't make us look bad, Gato.
No, please don't. Please. This is all we have. That's not true. We have so much.
This is all we have. I got no place else to go.
No place else to go. Hold on. I'm trying to do math in my head. Trying to think. Another.
But you know who we've got next? A resplendent performer of exceeding talent and verbose vocabulary.
I know. I've
And
lost
then,
my
Daniel
perspicacity.
The perspicacity and his exuberance. This is a man with a living thesaurus,
Yes.
but also truly limitless.
Thesauruses went extinct.
tell you how much is wrong with that statement after the show is done.
No, I know.
But we do have a man
I'm just
who everyone
sleeping
thought
today.
was going to be part of the Blackpool Combat Club, including William Regal.
Yes.
But Daniel
He may
Garcia.
still.
Daniel Garcia has proclaimed himself to be a sports entertainer, despite the
Sports
fact that he still wrestles like
entertainer.
Daniel Garcia. I've been kind of thinking, like, is Jericho gonna have these moments with him and be like, hey, he's up.
Yeah. Dial it
Try a
back.
few more rest holds.
You're too good.
You're too good. And like that'll be the breaking point. Like,
would make
stop
sense.
wrestling so well.
This is our only intra-brand match of the show. Of course, Daniel Garcia coming to the ring, native of Buffalo, New York. Our hearts go out to the people of Buffalo after let's call it what it is, the terrorist attack that occurred in Buffalo yesterday. The manifesto that was posted online. Don't read it.
Listen,
I read
folks,
a couple
just-
passages.
Just do yourself a favor. Give to any cause that's helping support
Yes.
them.
Yes, absolutely. And make sure that when you hear that kind of language being used, you're
Just shut it down.
being an ally and shutting
Yeah.
it down, because
Shut it down.
it's places where that kind of conspiracy theory and racism is allowed to flourish is a place where things like what happened yesterday in Buffalo can happen. So
This is why the world was still not ready for the internet.
yes, absolutely. It was
Actually, it's
supposed
been scientifically proven that human beings are not evolved enough to handle the internet.
to- I believe it.
The people who created the internet even were just like, I think we made a mistake.
Yeah. It was, it was great when it was, scientists sharing data, across.
And then people had to
long
get
distances.
involved. Not
And then
smart
we-
people.
Then we had to give it to the general public. Yeah.
People like you and I.
Yeah. Oh man, we are definitely not ready for it.
No, not at all.
Um,
This is not a tool we should be using.
Yeah. I just created a new Twitter account this week for my my burgeoning wrestling announcing career because, God only knows what I've said on my personal Twitter that,
It's like the John Mulaney bit. Yeah, I could be president if everybody got cool with things. For
everybody got
like,
really cool about a lot of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so going away from the serious stuff because it's almost too heavy to bear.
let's
Um,
focus right now on a very silly fake combat
Oh,
sport.
holy cow! We're gonna have to stop this. I did this all wrong.
Oh, what happened?
Jeff Hardy's in the next match, not this one.
Oh, okay.
This was just the wrong.
I was
match.
just gonna say, I something felt off.
Yep. Nope. I just. Yep. Jeff Hardy is in the next match. I just picked the wrong higher AEW
Yes, it's supposed to be
seed.
Keith Lee versus.
It is
Daniel
supposed to be
Garcia.
Keith Lee. So sorry about that. I had everything else right.
Special exhibition match that was cut short.
Yes. Well, now I feel dumb.
That happens, man.
But yes, at least we caught it before there was a finish.
It was all a
Scooby-Doo
dream.
ending. So yes, Daniel Garcia, the PWG World Champion, representing the Jericho Appreciation Society for over 9 weeks. The revolutionary force in sports
In
entertainment.
sports entertainment.
And he is in there with the limitless one, Keith Lee. Daniel Garcia was part of, back in episode 5, a 100% quality match. Would he be, who the fuck is Griff Garrison? And
Listen, we can't do BTE's jokes.
no, we can't. And he is in there with Keith Lee, who defeated Akira in that same episode with, of course, his famous Spirit Bomb. Garcia, to have any chance in this match, is going to have to keep Lee grounded.
Yeah, or else he'll
anytime
just
Keith
be
Lee-
beeled to oblivion.
Yes. The Uncle Phil Beal,
I
Keith Lee.
freaking love that move so
Yes. I love that he's, so eloquent and erudite, and yet he
just destroys people.
He destroys people, and he named one of his trademark moves after a sitcom from the 90s.
I mean, DJ Jazzy Jeff took the greatest bump ever with those throws.
That must have been so fun to do because they did it so many times.
I feel like
it's one of those
they
things
filmed
they
it
did
once and just used that clip like over and over again.
I guess I never really paid much attention to it. Was he in different costumes for those?
It could have been, yeah. If they did film it every time differently, good on them.
Yeah. As opposed to, every other establishing shot in every show where it's the same shot of the painted ladies. Is that what it's called? Painted ladies? That row of houses in San Francisco where the Tanners supposedly live.
You know what I like about Daniel Garcia, besides everything? Is the fact that his sharpshooter he made it unique because he pulls back on the ankle and just it looks so painful.
Yeah.
But I also like anybody who takes the spirit bomb from Keith Lee because of the bounce.
Yes.
Like that's how that was the finishing move I thought he was going to have at WWE, especially after the Survivor Series match where Samoa Joe, Jesus. He is a Samoan, and his name is Joe. Where Roman Reigns took a beautiful spirit bomb, and I thought, oh my god, they're going to give Keith Lee the win. So
silly
close.
Mike.
Silly Michael. That was a different Michael. He's dead now.
you gotta keep Roman strong.
Well, Roman Reigns is the new Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, they succeeded.
Yeah.
All it took was changing everything about him, and just letting
here's another weird thing.
Himself instead of suffering succotash.
Right. And Randy Orton's been over more than he's ever been in his life, and it only took 20 years.
Only took 20 years.
Because if you two wrestle in WWE for 20 years, eventually you'll get over.
Yes. And it's funny because every time Orton has started to get over, or has succeeded in getting over, because it had happened 2 or 3 times previously, it's always been as a heel. And then they capitalize on the face pops he's getting by turning him face and just making him another WWE babyface.
But
this
the
time,
Randy Orton hot tag with like those apparently are a true experience.
Yeah. Just letting him be himself, keeping the things that people like about him, and pairing him with another likable babyface, even though both are deeply problematic people.
Yes.
For so many reasons.
So many reasons.
Yeah. If you, you should know. Educate yourselves on what's going on with people.
Yeah.
Read the allegations against Matt Riddle and against Randy Orton.
Same thing can also, I can like Riddle as a talent. I don't necessarily like him as a person.
Yes, absolutely. I'm that way with both halves of our
I feel the same way about Darby Allin.
Yes.
I feel the same way about Jay Lethal.
Yes.
I feel the same way about any of the people that get brought up. I don't.
Yes.
I hope that you want to believe that they're not true, but you also want to believe in the side of people that they're involved in. And there is an argument about can you really separate the art from the artists?
Right.
It's tough. It really is.
Because
there's always an asterisk. And as good as the talent are, oh my god,
Suzuki pile driver on the floor. That was the move that Garcia used to beat Griff Garrison in round 1.
Gotch pile driver, Jesus.
See,
this is where, now I want to see this match in real life.
Oh god, yes.
Yeah. Oh my god. Because first of all, those could both happen.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right that you want to believe the victims, and 99.5 times out of 100, they're true. Like,
And you also want to believe, though, that Tony Khan would vet these talents,
right,
and make sure that
Yeah.
they are on the up and up, so that they are not associating themselves.
right.
Could this be a count out?
19. Oh, just barely beats the count back in Daniel Garcia.
Wow.
Red Death, Daniel Garcia, very nearly counted out, taking it out on the limitless. Those kicks to the midsection. So very close. To give you an idea of how long
Keith
this tournament's
Lee
been
is
going on. Keith Lee in the first round.
And Walter and sorry, what's his name now?
Gunther.
They're the guys who you just look at, and even the former.
Oh no! Oh
Aha!
no! Oh
Oh!
my God! Top rope sit out powerbomb. Oh, he gets 2.9.
That was a absolute Dragon Ball Z level spirit bomb.
That was insane.
That is a move that Goku would use to defeat Frieza.
Oh my God! That was insane.
Chris Candido used to do a stand-up
Yes.
power bomb from the top rope.
The blonde bombshell.
Good Christ.
Yeah. And he would throw people across the ring.
it was
They would
just
wind
like,
up almost in the other direction.
There you go.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I was watching, because, one of the trainers at the school that I'm going to is Jerry Lynn. So I was going back and watching some of Jerry's ECW stuff. And like his very first ever major match was a tag match. Him and Tommy Rogers against Candido and Lance Storm. And Candido did the blonde bombshell in that match.
Yeah.
God, that move.
Oh, I was lucky enough to have seen Chris Candido's last run while he was working the Indies before his untimely passing. And the promotion that he was working with was called Cyberspace Wrestling. They were trying to be like really pioneering the whole internet on wrestling on the internet.
Yeah.
And he was set to be the head trainer for the promotion. And my friends and I, we were saying, like, if this happens, we are signing up. And, unfortunately, it was just one of those things that never came to pass.
Yeah.
But the Chris Candido Cup became a thing afterwards. There was a rope break. If there was no rope break, that would have been it.
Well, men pulling out the heavy machinery here, and I'm not talking about Otis and Tucker. Tucky! Again, too close to the ropes. Rick Knox all over that.
Knox. By the way, the only reason I say that is not because I question Rick Knox. It's honestly my own personal reference to 1989's Batman. As the reporter who was annoying everybody was named Knox.
I had totally forgotten about that character. No big running boot to the back.
Robert Wool.
Yes, that's right. I remembered it was Robert Wool. I forgot that his name was Knox.
It's so great because the guy who's basically Detective Bullet, but he's also one of those guys who's in movies where you're just like, oh, he's in everything.
Yeah.
He's Porkins in Star Wars.
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Hitting him with his own move, that Gotch style pile driver.
And this is smart.
I thought
he was going to pin him.
I thought he was too. But instead, you want to kick me in the back?
To the back of the head.
Series of right hands, a big chop.
So one of the things that Pat and I like to share, there's a YouTube channel that does highlights of like finishers and oh my god moments. Keith Lee is absolutely on
and
them a lot.
Garcia gets the submission victory with that cross arm breaker.
And that should be an oh my god moment.
After taking 2 German suplexes over the top rope to the floor, nearly getting counted out, a top rope spirit bomb, 2 gorilla press power slams, Garcia with the flying cross arm breaker defeats Keith Lee.
Could that match happen that way in an AEW ring?
It could.
Because I could absolutely see that happening.
I struggle to think of any spot in that match that TK wouldn't let them do. You guys are gonna be
we call
safe,
him
right?
TK because obviously, we're close personal friends.
Right. Yes.
And we're shills.
Yes.
Going back to Jerry Lynn for a bit, people need to start, because again, this is also ties into the videos that Pat and I always share back and forth. Jerry Lynn was a huge part of TNA's early X Division matches.
Absolutely.
And his matches against Amazing Red are insane.
God. Yeah.
Like, they are on that back and forth level of him and RVD in 97, 98 ECW. Or 99. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 98, 99, yeah. Even into early 2000, because wasn't the Living Dangerously match in 2000?
Yeah. But man, just like the combinations that the two of them, you're like, how is this possible?
Yeah. This is not something that somebody should physically be able to do.
Jerry Lynn's there's a reason why he was Jerry effing Lynn.
That's right. The new effing show. Yeah.
Mr. JL, if you want to go all the way back to WCW.
Indeed. Yeah, it's funny because those early ECW shows, Joey Styles is just all over that.
Yeah,
gimmick.
I always like that he would rip into like the gimmicks that these talents used to have.
Yeah. This brilliant performer.
Who would want to
Lynn,
put him under a mask?
Or very cleverly named Mr. JL.
It's like when Raven debuted, and there were so many Johnny Polo jokes.
Yes. Oh, man.
Raven is not as moody as people think, by the way, folks.
I know, you watch shoot interviews
He's
with
just
Raven.
that talented.
Yeah. Raven is funny. He's a master raconteur.
Yeah, he just knows how to go all in on a gimmick.
Yeah. Yep. He's one of those guys that, will turn anything into something positive. Give him
Just somebody
chicken.
told him. Like, honestly, I think Raven's WCW run is fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
And when I kind of liked the whole idea that he actually came from a rich family and he was just
Yeah.
pretending to be moody, like he was the angsty rich kid.
Yeah, he was the rebellious.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like Sandman was in the best shape of his life when he was in WCW.
Yes.
Hardcore hack.
Hardcore hack. Man, the WCW hardcore division had
That was a thing.
yeah.
That was
Do you think-
a thing.
Of any division in major wrestling promotion history, that had to have had the highest injury rate ever.
Oh
right?
yeah, because
Just from that
it's like
junkyard battle royal alone.
Yeah, they took like the whole like we could do a hardcore match. I'm like, no, that's not what ECW was always about.
Yeah.
The same thing happened with like the hardcore division in WWF. Like
Yeah.
that title was just kind of meant to be a joke for
Yeah.
Mick Foley. Like he even said,
Yeah.
like this was supposed to be just a storyline belt, and then it just kind of became a thing.
Yep.
I always like the much disproven lore that the hardcore belt was the belt that Mr. Perfect smashed up
Oh yeah.
with the hammer.
No.
That was barely put back together.
So, folks, if you're not familiar, we're talking about that Junkyard Invitational Battle Royal. Was at Bash at the Beach in 2000? It was 99 or 2000.
I know that Finley was part of that hardcore division. for a
Bit
bit.
Finley, Cyclope, Jerry Flynn, Public Enemy, Hack, Horace Hogan, Brian Knobs, Hugh Morris, La Parka, Lord Steven Regal, Silver King, David Taylor, and Mikey Whipwreck. It was a battle royal in a literal junkyard of just beaten down cars. Lighting was terrible. It was hard to get camera shots, so a lot of it was shot by a helicopter. So Finley won. I was hoping this article would have a list of all the injuries, but there were some.
Remind me, what did Lance Storm turn that championship into? Because there was a thing where he turned them. He turned 3 belts into Canadian belts.
Yes, yeah. What did
he turned the United States Championship into the Canadian Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
Something was like Saskatchewan, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that might have been the hardcore. All right, stand by. Help me out.
Well, you know what?
My only hope.
Angelo Dawkins here. I feel like he has just as much singles potential as Montez Ford, who, by the way, consistently gets trolled every Sunday by a friend of the show, Mad Dog.
Yes.
Mad Dog Connolly. Anytime that he tweets out "God is good" on a Sunday, Mad Dog immediately quote tweets "God is dead."
Yes, the Saskatchewan Hardcore International title.
Yeah, that was it.
After defeating,
and then he did the cruiserweight one too, as well, right?
Yep. He defeated Big Vito on Nitro in Cleveland, Ohio, July 24th, 2000. Lost it 3 weeks later to Carl Ouellet. Oh, I'm sorry. He did not lose it to Carl Ouellet. He awarded it to Carl Ouellet.
Right.
At a Nitro in Kelowna, British Columbia, who then lost the title later that night to Norman Smiley.
Right. Yeah. But like I was saying with Angelo Dawkins, I think he has just as much potential to be a single star, which feels inevitable at this point because Vince does not like tag teams. Oh,
he doesn't.
Big twist of fate.
Red Shoe's not in any hurry to get over and make that count.
And Jeff Hardy, by the way, advancing in the Owen.
Yes. Very surprising.
I'm finally like, it's great to see now that it feels like a tournament. Because some of the qualifying matches, for some reason, just had storyline elements. Again, not everything has to be a saga, Tony Khan. But, like, now the tournament feels like, all right, we're in it. And it's getting me into that old school King of the Ring vibe.
Yes.
I really do feel like they wanted to call it the King of Hearts tournament, but couldn't.
Probably couldn't. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I feel like that's a trademark, absolutely, that WWE would not have let go.
Right. Also, Lance Storm called the Cruiserweight title the 101 kilogram and under championship. That's
because, of course, he did.
Yes.
But, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, they're an incredible tag team together. They have much great hype around them. The crowd, and, like, again, despite the fact that they win the tag team belts on both sides, the belts really don't matter in WWE unless it's the main one. And even then, it's just kind of like, it's weird.
Yeah.
I do hope that if Cody wins, he does bring the Winged Eagle back. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. This is the first ever meeting as opponents for Jeff Hardy and Angelo Dawkins. They have teamed once before. On the 2020 Tribute to the Troops show, Jeff Hardy, the Street Profits, Daniel Bryan, and Rey Mysterio beat Elias, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, and the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. That was in the Thunderdome back when they were doing that in December of 2020 for Tribute to the Troops. One and only time these two have ever shared a ring together. I assumed they had to have been like in the same Royal Rumble or Battle Royal or something, but nope. Just that one 10-man tag on Tribute to the Troops, which was more alliterative than I expected it to be. But 10-man tag Tribute Troops.
As long as Montez Ford does more dives where he yells out the name of the event he's in and doesn't crash and burn.
Tribute to the Troops!
WrestleMania Backlash. Which I'm
Great
starting to
balls of
realize,
fire!
like, how much WWE is just brand.
Uh-huh.
Like, WWE is just McDonald's now, you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
When people say, like, and they kind of achieved what they've always wanted to, which is when someone says wrestling, they go, oh, you mean, like,
Yeah.
WWE stuff? Or, like, I'm going to see WWF, like some people will still call it.
Sure.
And I don't think there's any such thing as casual fan anymore.
There
I think
isn't.
when people say casual fan, they say the person who just watches a TV show every now and then.
Yeah.
Not like us, who are obsessed with watching every show.
Yes.
Because we just need a way to intravenously put wrestling in our veins.
Hook it to my face.
Hook it to my veins! I was kind of hoping you were doing that one.
Dawkins got to this point by beating Chris Adonis back in episode 5. And on episode 20, Jeff Hardy beat Prince Ahura. Again here. 7 short weeks ago.
Speaking of Chris Adonis, Nick Aldis just retweeted a picture of Chris Adonis pointing to Nick Aldis on a poster with just finger in the nose.
Nick Aldis and Mickey James, his wife, recently popped in at the school where I'm training. I was not there, unfortunately. It was a midday. They just popped in to visit the head trainer because they know him. And also Tom Latimer is one of the trainers there. So they just popped in to say hello and got pictures taken, and it's on the FXC Wrestling Facebook page.
I love Tom Latimer on NWA Power lately. He is just so smooth.
Yeah.
Him and Camille are just such an awesome, like, a power couple on TV right now.
And they're getting legit married soon if they haven't already. Oh, DualShock disconnected. We've gone past the 18-minute mark and I didn't catch it.
Ooh, Twist of Fate. You know what? I just saw NWA retweeted a community creator who did a custom Always Ready NWA arena in WWE 2K.
Huh.
Which is something you rarely see.
Yeah.
But first of all, the fact that Cardona has basically an event named after him coming up.
Right.
Complete with the Z. That he loves to put in his trademarks.
Trademarks with the Z.
God, you gotta, yeah, there. You gotta, I love how much he realized, like, I can just make a business out of me.
Uh-huh.
And just went full hog.
Yep.
Colt Cabana did that for a while before he signed with AEW, where he was just a one-man band. Not like Heath Slater. Not like Heath Slater. The one-man Southern rock band was an FCW gimmick that, thankfully, just kind of moved on.
Did not survive the transition to
Did
NXT.
not survive.
Oh god, rear chinlock gets the submission victory for Jeff Hardy.
That is a rare type of win.
Indeed.
Just in wrestling in general.
Yeah, I wonder how many matches in Jeff Hardy's career he's won by submission. It can't be many.
That is a very good question, actually.
He's not known as a grappler.
But the two. Okay, what are your thoughts on Hardy versus Darby? That match. Because I'm not gonna lie, I cringed.
Yeah, it's I mean, if this is what Jeff wants to do for what is probably going to be his last, his last big promotion run, that's fine. But yeah, it was hard to watch, especially knowing what Jeff has had to overcome to get back to this point in his life. Like, you just hate to be like, oh man, he's going to need to take some stuff to recover from that.
And the thing is like, we know what wrestlers end up like physically. Just it's to me it's like my love of Mick Foley.
Yes.
As a kid, I would watch his matches and just be like, this man is amazing. He's unbreakable. Look at this stuff. And then you get older and you see that the man is broken.
Yes. Yeah.
He's just unfortunate walking mass of flesh. And I've seen him like get better, and I've seen him make the most out of his life, and he is a wonderful human being. I had a fantastic conversation with him at an indie show about Santa Claus. Not about wrestling, like just about Santa Claus, because that man loves Santa.
He loves Santa.
And when I say that, I don't mean it like in any irony.
Oh no, he has a room in his house that is decorated for Christmas year round.
All year round.
Yeah, that's...
You know who also has that? Jerry Lawler.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if like that's where he got the idea, where it's just like, you know what? Why shouldn't I have Christmas every day?
Good idea, Jerry. Broken clock.
Another rare thing said in wrestling.
Right, yeah. Indeed.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Lawler. Again, a guy who's wrestling I can respect.
Yes.
But the person I don't have to.
As a performer, he's one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
He is also not.
And it's honestly, it's the same way I feel about The Undertaker.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Hall of Fame career, also Hall of Fame asshole. Like the amount of damage that The Undertaker has done to the business, in addition to the good that he's done, like it almost evens out. I mean, just think
I will
how
say this
different.
though, I have never liked Kane.
Yeah.
Like I know, like that's like a thing. Like, but you were a kid of the Attitude Era. Like I never had to like Kane. I thought he was boring. I was like, oh cool, this guy's just like when he showed up, it was like ooh.
Yeah.
But then I watched him wrestle. I was like, I don't like this.
No, he's never been very good in the ring. I mean, it's not surprising that my favorite eras of Kane were always when he was with somebody I liked. Like,
yeah.
Him
like
and
that's
X-Pac.
what I remember. Like, oh, I liked X-Pac.
Yep.
Or I liked so-and-so.
Daniel Bryan.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. That's absolutely it.
I think the only time like I had actually sparked interest in him again was around the time that he lost the mask and he was just kind of like the psycho killer type of deal.
Yeah. The feud with Shane in like what, 03?
With like no hair, no eyebrows.
Yeah.
Like that was like the last time for me he was interesting. Still not a great wrestler, but like
never was.
Just yeah.
Nope. Yep.
His side slam annoys me so much because it just looks so lazy.
Yeah.
But I think it's also funny that crowds also are like realizing that they don't like him either as a person because of his politics.
Yeah. Although I bet the guy that attacked Joe Black is probably a big fan.
Yeah, probably. But you want to talk about great wrestlers who are also great people. See what I did there?
Yeah, I do.
Mark Briscoe.
And and good on the Briscoes for owning their past.
Yeah.
And
like we were dumb back then. We're different people now.
We're I don't remember exactly when Jay put out that statement. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something to that
that's
effect.
pretty much what I just said.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
We said stupid stuff in the past.
Yep.
We'll take ownership of it. We're not those people anymore, and we're gonna make sure we're better.
Yep.
Like there you go.
That's all it takes.
Literally
Genuine
all
apology.
it takes to be a better human being.
Yep. Genuine apology. Pledge to do better. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
That's all
and then
it
just
takes.
follow through.
None of this. I'm sorry to anyone I might have offended.
Oh,
No.
Freaking hate that.
No. That's just you covering your ass. That's not an apology. I'm sorry. What I did was wrong. I'm working to get better.
But by the way,
Buff
you want to talk
Bagwell,
about things that
great
I also
example.
want to see? I want to see this match in real life because
Oh my god, yes.
I freaking love Shingo.
Shingo is fantastic. Shingo, the number 9 overall seed in our tournament, got a first round bye. This is our first time seeing Shingo in the tournament. Briscoe, we saw defeat Pero back in episode 4.
I feel bad that, you know, no offense to Okada, he is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Oh,
No
absolutely.
question. I kind of feel bad though that Shingo, like his run with the World Heavyweight Championship, the IWGP, was kind of underwhelming. And it's on one of those unfortunate cases where it's like, it's during the time that it is where it can't be as well showcased as it could be. You know, like if there was no pandemic going, I'm sure that Shingo's matches would have been so much more well received because there's no way for them to not be.
Right.
I have thought it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, I like him in LIJ, and I think, like, again, he's just a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah.
But has always felt like there's just one thing missing, and I cannot put my finger on it. But I still think he's great talent. Absolutely great talent.
Absolutely.
Mark Briscoe, by the way, one of the funniest competitors in the ring. If you've ever seen him do the, actually, he had a match with one of my close friends, Damian Dragon, when he had a very short run of Ring of Honor as a tag team, and they had a match against the Briscoes, and Damian is he comes from a martial arts background, and he's, you know, legitimate black belt, and he's an instructor now, but Mark Briscoe has the redneck kung fu.
Redneck Kung Fu, yeah.
So they did a spot where he was just like, you know, squaring up on him and hitting some kicks, and then Mark Briscoe just runs at him with the chops. Best spot of the show. and he sold it too. He's just like, oh man, I didn't see that coming.
That redneck kung fu gets all up in your head.
They were both doing videos for social media, and they did the thing from Spaceballs where they're at each other's videos.
Okay.
And they're like, what the hell am I looking at?
Right, yeah.
Is now. What you're watching is now.
When will then be now?
Soon.
This is the 7th all-time meeting between these two. They both lost a 6-way. The only previous singles match was won by Shingo. The Briscoes are 2-1 against Shingo and a partner, and 1-0 in 10-man tags. So
I guess the Briscoes are kind of now like Impact wrestlers.
It does appear that way. They are on the roster page for Impact now,
And they are current tag team champions.
They are indeed. They are indeed. Yep. Yeah, the
One
Briscoes.
of the most
they're also still
decorated tag teams of all time.
They're also the House of Glory tag team champions.
Case in point. By the way, after this next match, I have an update about Freddie Prinze Jr.'s plans for starting a wrestling promotion, because they are ambitious.
All right. Winner of this will face Eita in round 3. I can't remember if I said that or not. 2, 3. That does it. Shingo
There it is.
Picks up the win in our main event.
And this is why Shingo is a main event wrestler.
And so far, through 3 episodes, the wrestlers with first round buys have all advanced. We've yet to see an upset of that caliber. So now Shingo
The Dragon
Takagi
defeats the Chicken Man.
Chicken Man. Oh, wait,
Not
no,
to be
that's something
confused
entirely
with
different.
the chicken plucker.
The gobbledygooker?
of ECW.
Oh, yeah. Chickens.
But yeah, for those who don't know, Freddie Prinze Jr. is trying to start a wrestling promotion.
Yes.
He is looking for a venue to buy as like the permanent location setup, kind of like a Lucha Underground thing. He said he bought the lighting rig from the Fox boxing crew that he is currently holding in storage. And then what he wants to do is have every talent be under SAG after, so that they can get all the insurance that comes with it. And not only that, he wants to have anybody who's on crew be paid no less than scale.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, coming from a person who has done television production, if you're starting out, or if you can make scale regularly, that is your job that you go back to time and time again. Because you are guaranteed some form of livable wage. And in Hollywood, that is very hard to come by.
Yes.
Unions like that are incredibly integral for workers. And for somebody to go out of their way to make sure that it happens is fantastic. Will it happen? I have no idea, because unions in wrestling have no good history.
No. You can ask Jesse Ventura about that.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like, that is also something I've always wondered, is why WWE talent don't go, because they're on a television show regularly. Mm-hmm. How is being, like, getting an agent and doing SAG? I think Selena, wait, is Vega?
Angelina?
Zelina Vega, yeah. She's got her SAG card.
Yes.
It's just, it's very curious to me, like, but apparently there is some sort of, like, reason why professional wrestling on television is not necessarily qualified for it. And I think that's something he wants to change, which would be huge. Absolutely huge. And it would be something that a lot of promotions would have to then consider, especially if you're a televised show. I think, though, that this being a specific type of show where it feels like he kind of wants to do the Lucha Underground thing, where it's a season of a show,
right?
And then, you know, you kind of have to have it that way. And I think that's also one of the reasons why WWE and AEW aren't, like, qualified for it, because it's just a continuous event.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, good on him. I hope he pulls it off.
Most definitely.
But you know what else we're pulling off is this amazing tournament.
Yeah, 27 episodes down, probably about 20 more to go. We now know 6 more third-round matches. We know Lance Archer will face Tangaloa, Willie Mack against Mistezis Jr., Shingo Takagi against Eita, Forestero against James Storm, Jeff Hardy and Daniel Garcia. That's going to be a fun one. And Frankie Kazarian against Shotaro Ashino, trying to keep All Japan's winning streak alive. And then we've got more matches next week. We just keep doing this.
Like what?
Every Sunday morning. Next
week.
Hey,
pray tell, Pat.
As mentioned, Shingo Takagi, our third straight wrestler who had a first-round bye, advancing. So far, none of them have lost. We will see if that happens again as the number 4 seed Drew McIntyre takes on Rey Escorpion. Kushida will take on Kylie Ray. Nick Gage will take on LA Park. Billy Dixon against Saki Akai. Evil will take on Yuma Aoyagi. Matt Sydal against Michael Oku. Bryan Danielson against Toru Sugiura. Powerhouse Hobbs against Jordan Clearwater. Big E against Roderick Strong. That's going to be fun. As will Matt Jackson and Tyler Bate. And Mysterious Q against Jamie Senegal.
Nice.
Those are our 11 second-round matches that we will see next week. Of course, headlined by Drew McIntyre making his first appearance in the 500.
Fantastic. I wonder if Tyson Fury is going to be watching, because apparently that man has been breathing down his neck. Drew McIntyre's like, I don't know why this man's obsessed with me.
He wants that.
He wants the match
Floyd
in the
Mayweather
UK
and Conor McGregor money.
No, well, yeah, he wants the match in the UK show for sure.
Yeah,
but I think that's where Drew is going to win something big.
I think so. Yeah. either one or both of the titles from. I hope it's not just like, oh, remember when the British Bulldog won the Intercontinental title in Wembley Stadium and it was a big deal? It's an equally big deal when Drew McIntyre wins the Intercontinental title in. It's not.
I mean, you kind of already predicted how that thing's going to play out. Let's face it.
Yeah. It's not the same. The
It's
Intercontinental title in 1992 was a much bigger deal than it is in 2022.
Yeah, it's the South Park member berries.
Yeah. It was the stepping stone to the main event.
Yeah.
In those days. Almost every champion from that era moved up into the main event after losing it, including the guy that the Bulldog won it from, Bret Hart, who was world champion by the end of the year. So that's probably what's going to happen to Drew.
Could have been. Yeah.
He's going to beat. Who even is the Intercontinental Champion right now? Oh, it's Ricochet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that I didn't know off the top of my head who the Intercontinental Champion is
yeah, because and to be honest, he may not even be champion by the time that show happens.
True.
Like, they may just have someone so that Drew can defeat them. Like, what if it's Sheamus?
Yeah.
And they have Drew versus Sheamus. Like, that would be great.
It would be great.
You know,
Won't mean anything
in the long run.
Nope.
Because nothing means
ever does.
anything in WWE.
That's right. Nothing ever does.
Nothing from nothing means nothing.
I still contend that the world needs a Billy Preston biopic starring Craig Robinson.
Absolutely.
That is something that I want to make happen. If no one else will do it, I will write a Billy Preston biopic for Craig Robinson.
Well, I have been very entertained by this continuing, ongoing tournament. And, man, let's just keep it going.
Let's do it. Let's just keep going.
Same time next week, huh?
We started with 500. We're down to 244. I'm sorry, 224 now. After this episode, 224 wrestlers left out of 500. Next week we'll see if Drew McIntyre can keep the streak going. And I believe there are at least one All Japan wrestler. I don't have the bracket in front of me, but we'll see if that streak continues as well. Lots of interesting stuff happening here at the 500. You can see in the upper right corner all of our social. We're at PW Simulated everywhere. Use the hashtag the500. Email us. It's prowrestlingsimulated@gmail.com, or is it PW Simulated? I can't remember.
It's this.
It's that. prowrestlingsimulated@gmail.com. Of course, you can, hit us up on any of our social media. We're probably less likely to respond on Instagram because I keep forgetting we have an Instagram.
Yeah, me too.
But we try to keep up with Facebook and Twitter.
Twitter is honestly our best
it really
form
is.
of contact because we love interacting with all of the talent that interacts with us.
Yep, and they're all
because
on Twitter.
We're marks.
We are absolutely marks. If you interact with us, you will get a shout out on the show. It's happened every single time.
You will become a friend of the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Instant friendship.
Yep. So if you want to be a friend of the show, I usually post the card a day or two in advance, tagging all the wrestlers. So if you don't think maybe one of your favorites is going to see that, feel free to tag them and say, hey, you should watch this thing Sunday mornings over on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube. Twitch.tv/Pro Wrestling Simulated, Facebook.com/PW Simulated, and YouTube.com/bunch of numbers.
Yeah, just look up Pro Wrestling
Simulated
the 500.
You'll find us.
Yep.
Each and every week, this same time, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. in Hawaii. I don't know. Time zones are hard. But until next week, I've been Pat.
I'm Mike.
And we'll see you next week.